You know, as you read through the Bible, you find out that names and their meanings carry a lot of significance. And after we'd been here just a month or so, we thought, what are we going to name this church? We kept coming back to the name Freedom. We love the name Freedom Church because what we feel God's called us here is to lead people in freedom. Freedom to be everything that God has destined people to be. That's what it's about. It's about freedom. Before we actually moved to Grand Forks, I was laying on the floor of our living room and just really taking some time, some quiet time to be with the Lord. And as I did, a worship song came on about freedom and from condemnation and guilt, and it just really spoke to me. It's this thing of grace and really giving people something that they don't deserve, because that's exactly what Jesus did for us, for me, and that's what He's called us to do as well. That's the key to Grand Forks. It's really to come here and to be an extension of God's transforming grace to these people.
One of the reasons we call our church Freedom Church is that people will really be set free from those things that we carry that have hurt us, or people have hurt us, or we've done things that have hurt us, and that they will be set free.
Another reason that we're here to serve. Freedom Church is about serving. You know, I think a lot of times churches come into communities and expect them, the community, to do something for them. But we're here to serve this community. Before we came to Grand Forks, we did quite an extensive demographic study of this community, in fact, this entire region. And what we found was this, that 70% of Grand Forks is under the age of 44. That's quite a young community. And our desire, well, we're a multi-generational church. We have people of all generations that attend Freedom Church. But we realize this, if we fail to impact this generation, we'll have missed it. And we know this, God's calling us to impact this generation. Who is it that Satan's targeting? You see him targeting this younger generation. Our desire is to come and to make a difference there. What I've done, I've taken time just to walk down the streets, walk down the university, and really to take some time to pray. And one of the areas God has really directed me, and it's right here, it's downtown Grand Forks. Wouldn't it be great for us to be, as a church, to come here? And then all of a sudden we got a card in the mail from Scott's Music saying that their store was going out, inviting us to a sale. And that was on a Saturday. On Monday, I was there in the office of Scott's Music, and just a few days later it opened up, and here we are. I mean, we are downtown Grand Forks. We're in the heart of the city, and we believe that's by God's design. God's called us here to make a difference, and this location is so key to what God's called us to do, and we're so thankful for it. You don't have to live here long until you realize the huge impact that the flood of 1997 had upon East Grand Forks and Grand Forks. It's a huge reference point for the people that lived here at that time. But can I tell you something? As I think about that, the flood, I'm praying for another kind of flood. It's not a flood of waters that's going to spill out of this Red River upon these two different communities, but it's a river that's a flood that's, well, it's described in a worship course that really has come to my mind. I bet if it's come once, it's come 100 times. And the whole worship course begins this. It says, could this be the land of the free? Could this really be the land of the free? Let salvation's waves crash on the shore again, and the tide of God's great love come rushing in. Could this be the land of the free? And as I've heard that course, I've asked myself that question so many times. Could this area, could this really be the land of the free? Could God's love and His salvation comes crashing over these shores, and His great love, His tide of God's great love, come and touch and impact people? I believe it is. And I believe that's what God's called us to. That's what Freedom Church is about. Could this be the land of the free? I like trips and adventures. In fact, as I read through the Bible, I see a lot of people on a journey. Think of Abraham, the journey he was on. Sarah. Think of the children of Israel as they left Egypt, traveling to the Promised Land. The disciples on their journey through Judea. I think of Paul and his missionary journeys, and I realize, you know what? I'm on a journey. In fact, all of us are on a journey. And I'm so glad that Freedom Church is now part of my journey, this journey of life. And I realize God's calling other people to be a part of this journey as well. And so for those of you thinking about it, I say, hey, come and join us on the journey.